So one of the most bizarre plays I've ever seen on Sunday, back-to-back instances where the infield hit guys in the back. Have you ever seen anything like that?
I've never actually seen it happen twice in the same inning. I've seen, a thrown ball hit a runner. Never seen it happen twice in the same inning, and it was crazy because, Mock makes a great play at third to backhand that ball going hard towards the line, makes the right play coming to the plate, and just doesn't get quite far enough outside the runner and hits him with it. But, it looked like he had just made an unbelievable play. And then the same thing with Joey. Joey makes a great play to, go into his left right down the line and kind of pops his feet and fires, try to get the one out at second base. We weren't going to turn a double play on that. Trying to get one out at second base, still keep the double play in order, and hits the runner again. So both plays, which at the start looked like unbelievable plays and didn't turn out great for us. And, in some ways ended up being the difference in that ball game, kind of two freaky plays like that. But we still had our chances after that to kind of get out of that, and we still had our chances to score after that. So those two plays didn't cost us a baseball game, but it was kind of a weird inning.
So Jesse Adams, of course, comes in to pitch in a huge spot Saturday night. Issues a couple walks to start, but then kind of settles in. Have you noticed kind of him pitching better with runners on base?
I think we saw a little bit of the growth of Jesse Adams this week, and we all know how dominant his stuff can be. But for him to, walking the first two guys wasn't exactly how he drew it up with him coming in. But for him to then settle down and go back and attack those hitters and and get the 4, 5, 6 and one of the top 4, 5, 6 sixes in our conference. That was impressive. And those guys had been unbelievable all weekend. Oki had killed us all weekend, and Pinder gave great at bats. And so for him to settle back down and get those 3 huge punch outs was unbelievable. It's not surprising because his stuff is that good, but it was awesome to see him settle himself down like he did.
So he comes back on Sunday for a long relief appearance. So is he the kind of guy you see moving forward, maybe in that closer role or maybe towards a starter role, now that there's kind of an open spot in the rotation?
Yeah, I think Jesse's a guy that can obviously get us big outs at the end of the ball game, which he showed us. He can give us a little bit of length in the middle of a ball game, and whether we're up to hold a lead or tie ball game, keep us there, or if we're down a run or two to quiet things down and give us a chance to win. And he could also start and give us very good starts. He's so valuable because he can do so many things for us, and he can be that swing guy. Going into this weekend, he'll be available on Friday night and could pitch in a huge spot on Friday night, and out of the bullpen, depending on what Kinger does for us. We know Kinger's going to give us a great start, but then he can be available, depending on how the weekend plays out, to start on Sunday or to come back out of the bullpen on Sunday. He and with Justin Dunn in a similar spot, we have 2 guys that can be really, really good and potentially dominant at the end of a baseball game, but also give us options for length or start. So it's a nice mix with those 2 right now.
So Mike King again getting the start on Friday?
Yep, King will be Friday, Gorman Saturday, and then we'll announce Sunday after the game on Saturday.
All right. So who do you have starting today and tomorrow?
Yeah, we're going with Eric Stone today against a very good University of Rhode Island ball club, and then we'll announce tomorrow after the game tonight, kind of see what we do with some of these bullpen arms. And we're excited to see what some of these young guys can do, and and against 2 quality opponents.
So Jim Foster kind of have a nice reunion today. Is he excited for that chance to face off against his former team?
Yeah, it's always a tough thing when you are facing guys that you recruited. So for Coach Foster to coach against the program down at URI, which he had so much success at down there and did such an unbelievable job building that program, and that's a really good baseball team that's coming in there, and it's also his his former assistant coach, who's now the head coach, who does a great job down there as well. So I'm sure there'll be some emotions for him, and but he's such a good baseball coach and such a professional that he'll be able to see his guys before the game and say what's up to them, and then help us beat them hopefully today.
So Chris Shaw over the weekend, we heard 4 to 6 weeks on recovering from that surgery. Is that still what it looks like for him?
Yeah, I just actually was just texting with Dr. Ruckelsman, who did the surgery on his hamate bone. So he's out of surgery. Everything looks great. And then you just start the road to recovery. It's 4 to 6 is kind of the timeline they give you. There are some cases we can come back a touch earlier. So what I know is with how hard Chris works at everything he does, and how much he wants to be on the baseball field, whatever the earliest is that he's able to be back, he'll be back. So we'll kind of wait and see how these the scars heal and everything. We'll obviously rush him back to the point that we're being safe for him and safe for his career. As soon as we can get him back in the lineup and not risk any other injury, is what we'll do. And the team loves having him around. And although I tell you what, as much as I love Chris having him on this team, he's not used to being on the bench, and he's got to learn how to do that. He was a little bit annoying on the bench this weekend.